Welcome to the Numerology and Astrology for June 23rd, 2022. Okay, let's do the numerology. If you add all those numbers together, you get the number 18, and if you add the 1 and the 8 together, you get the number 9. Sometimes I like to separate the numbers, and so today we'll look at the 1, which is about individuality, self-expression, authenticity, humility, and realness, and the number 8, which is about the sadness and the loss and the deeper feelings that are in the inside and addressing the grief. And so sometimes I find grief is a very personal experience as the individual, the number 1. And so today, look at where you might be holding grief and where you might be hanging on to it as part of your identity, which is never a healthy thing. And instead, combine them and bring the 2 together and make it a number 9, which when you embrace your own sadness and loss, when you embrace your own wounding, when you stand up as the individual that you are and don't try and be somebody that you're not, then you actually get intuition, psychic ability, mysticism, and magic. So today, with the number 9, let it soften our mood and hopefully open our heart. There is so much chaos in the world, and we live in a time where there have been too many hateful words bounced around and that have split our world into opposite camps. The number 9 attempts to unify us by helping us let go of our projections and instead focus on what we share in common. To do that, we have to be able to feel into our heart and into another's heart as well. We need to remember that we all feel the same emotions, and we must find those connections to help us all heal. There will always be those that see a boogeyman in everyone that thinks differently than them. But in such instances, that scary person outside is actually an internal saboteur. When the darkness within is not witnessed and integrated, then the blame will always go to someone else. The way out of this trap is to open our heart, become more aware of those denied perspectives within, and learn to allow emerging to heal those disowned parts. It is the energy of the number 9 that shows us that the intuitive voices within are always attempting to get our attention. When we deny them for too long, those blaming voices will externalize and create monsters in our outer world. Look at those that we blame and try to see that their bad behavior is just wounding from their own childhood and experiences. If we learn to find a compassionate place to stand and see that others hurt us and the world in the way that they have been hurt, then we can step back from our old projections and learn that misbehaviors are just a marker for what is still needing healing and love. Stay open, allow the flow, listen with your heart, and know that there are many more things that will arise to remind us to move as compassionately as possible. In that way, we find the doors to our own karmic completion. The astrology today. This astrology, it keeps us moving steadily towards our goals. In an inconsistent world, having the astrology giving a little ballast to steady the ship is a very good thing, but Uranus just loves to turn over the game board that we think we are playing, and Uranus and the moon just can't leave things well enough alone. Change continues to be the incentive, and that compulsion is causing some anxiety and upset. There is an odd tension building, and that makes even small things seem challenging. We are going to blame the angle of Mercury to Pluto for that. I learned to handle things one at a time and to not take what arises that needs to be done next as some issue that holds karmic consideration. That is because in life there is always one more thing that needs to be done, especially if you have a family and a house. Avoiding never works and just creates more problems. Best to do things as they arise. Life is just easier that way. Remember that things don't always unfold according to plan. Life is not personal. It just requires us to pay more attention to the details. Know that the twists and turns in life that are what make life a palette of many colored paints. Don't let small things get under your skin. Thanks, everyone.